Want to one-shot almost every single enemy in the MALIWAN Takedown or in any sort of content that you play? Well, today I'm going to tell you guys how to do it with my one-shot, one-gun build for Amara. This is LaserBolt and welcome to today's video, guys. Today I want to share with you guys my one-shot build that's going to have you killing almost every single enemy around you in one complete shot. You could possibly kill a boss with one shot. There just has to be multiple enemies around him. If there is multiple enemies around him, then you are definitely going to be able to one-shot him. Now, the beauty about this build is that it's perfect for crowd control. It's perfect for the MALIWAN Takedown since there's a lot of ads. And when you're fighting bosses, you kind of want more people to come out. You want more enemies. That's a first, right? Because what happens is anytime there's more enemies, your damage is going to get multiplied exponentially. And you're only going to need to use one weapon and load. Now, I do plan on sharing this build. Let's try to get this video to 300 likes, guys. If we get to 300 likes, I will upload this build so you guys don't have to farm the weapon because there is a lot of farmable loot. So help me out by hitting 300 likes and I'll help you guys out by not having to farm all this stuff. And join the Discord because that is where we put up our builds. We have other builds that we shared already. So make sure you guys head on over and check it out. As you guys are noticing right there on the footage, I am shooting the boss and all the enemies and all the ads, if you see the minimap, are dissipating. They're just automatically dying. Poof, poof. They're going poof, 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 poof. And I'm going to show you exactly how all this build works. So without further ado, let's dive into the skill tree. All right, so now we are at the skill tree. Now we're going to be doing stuff from Mystical Assault, Brawler, and also Fist of the Element. Quick disclaimer, guys, if this is someone builds from YouTube, any Borderlands creator, I want to give you credit because, I don't want people to come in the channel and be like, yo, Laser, this is someone else's build. If you invented this build 20 years ago, 50 years ago, congratulations. I'm giving credit. Anyways. Here we go, guys. Let's dive in and take a look at the build. Even though technically I did put the build together myself. Just saying. All right, so we're going to start off with Fist of the Elements. We're going to be dumping 5 points into Fist of the Elements. Amara's status effect deals increased damage over time and has an increased duration. Her action skill status effect deals further increased damage. This is actually really important. It's going to be tying in perfectly with our build. Now, one thing I want to let you guys know, this build is very similar to my Amara build that I put up yesterday. Now, the only difference between this build and that build, this is less gear heavy, and it's a lot better, actually. So, next up, guys, we're going to go with Steady Hand. We're going to be dumping 3 points into Steady Hand. We're also going to be dumping, basically, Steady Hand, what it does, it gives you weapon handling and accuracy. For this particular build, since we're not going to be lobbing the, our weapon at all, the weapon handling and accuracy is actually quite important. Next up, guys, we're going to be dumping a total of 5 points into Tempest. Amara deals increased elemental damage, and shock damage is further increased. This one, guys, is extremely important. If you're playing around with this build and kind of moving things around, this is one that it's pretty much a requirement to pick up. Next up, guys, we're going to be dumping 2 points into Wildfire. Whenever Amara applies a status effect to an enemy, it has a chance to spread to nearby enemies. Another one that's extremely crucial, guys, and I highly recommend you guys definitely go ahead and pick this one up. It's a must. It's a must. Next up, guys, we're gonna go with Amara's gun damage is increased for a few seconds after an enemy is grasped. This is really important, and for this one in particular, I've been trying to test this out if this actually works because we're not really gonna be grasping anybody, but we are using grasp. So I've been trying to play around and see if for some reason, if you don't grasp any, you get the buff or you don't get the buff. For all of you guys who might know, let me know. I'm picking it up because I mean, from what I've tested, it seems to work, but I could be completely wrong. So let's go ahead and keep going. Then we're going to be dumping a total of 3 points into Indiscriminate. Amara's bullets that damage enemies have a chance to ricochet and deal decreased damage to other nearby enemies. So this is actually pretty important because we are going to be using that quite a lot. And this is what's going to be causing the majority of the enemies that we're shooting to be one-shotted. So basically, the more enemies that are around the vicinity, the more one-shot kills we're going to be getting. Then we're going to be dumping a total of 1 point into Deep Well. Amara gains increased magazine size with elemental weapons. And then we're going to be dumping we're going to be dumping 5 points into Sustainment. And Amara's gains lifesteal whenever she deals elemental damage with her weapon. This is pretty much going to be giving us a lot of survivability just because we will be killing multiple enemies. So that lifesteal is going to be proccing quite a lot. And last but not least, we're going to be picking up Forceful Expression. And what this is gonna do, it's gonna give Amara's gun bonus elemental damage based on her action skill element. So depending on what element we have, that's the bonus we're gonna be getting for our action skill. The only thing else we're picking up from here, of course, is ties that bind. Basically what this is gonna do, it's gonna pretty much target all the enemies and link them together. So this is what's gonna allow us to kill multiple enemies within the same area of effect. As long as there's a bunch of enemies, we'll be killing a ton of them. Next up, guys, we're going to go into the Mystical Assault. Now, for the Mystical Assault, we're not actually doing too much here. We're just getting a couple of things that are going to be very beneficial. We're going to be picking up 1 point into do harm. What this is going to do is going to give us the rash attack. Every time we consume the rash attack, action skill damage is temporarily increased. Then we're going to be doing 3 points into fast hand because we want that extra fast reload. We're not going to be doing weapon swapping. We're just going to be using one weapon. And it does give us mood switch speed, which is pretty good. But the main majority here is the reload speed. We want to be able to reload as quickly as we can. Then we're going to be dumping 1 point into Violent Tapestry. Once again, this is going to be the rush thing that we're doing. And Amara's status effect chance is temporarily increased. We want that status effect to be proccing quite a lot, so we want to pick that up. We're also going to be picking up Alacrity. And once again, this is for our reload speed. Remember, reload speed is really important, so we want to tap as much reload speed as we possibly can. We're going to be dumping 3 points into Transcend. What this is going to do is going to give us accuracy and critical hit damage for a few seconds after activating our action skill. This is going to be pretty much procced almost the entire time we're playing. So it's really important that you guys keep this in mind. Alright, so now that we got Mystical Assault, we got Fist of the Element out of the way, let's go ahead and dive into Brawler. Now for Brawler in particular, we're going to be tapping a couple of stuff that's going to help us gain our health back. So we're going to do 2 points into Root to Rise. What it's going to do, it's going to increase our maximum health. We could put a little bit more here, but I feel like with this particular build, we're constantly getting our shield back. So we don't really need this that much, but it's always going to have a little bit more. We are going to be picking up all of these though. We're going to be putting 3 points into Personal Space. Amara weapon shots deal bonus damage based on the distance of her target. Really important, especially for the MALIWAN takedown or any other content that you're doing. Then we're going to be dumping 2 points into Clarity. And what this is going to do, it's going to constantly regenerate our health. The lower our health, the more powerful the regeneration is. Once again, tapping into that, the whole concept of being able to survive. We're going to be dumping 3 points into Helping Hands. And I went a little bit trigger happy, guys. Not going to lie. I went a little bit trigger happy and I bought all 5 points. You just want to pick up 3 points here and then dump 2 more points here. Okay, so basically that's what you're going to be doing. Even though this still works because of my class mod, but you want to make sure you guys do 3 points here and 3 points here. Okay, just make sure you guys keep that in mind. Do not do the 7-5 or 7-5-4-3. You once again 3 points here and 3 points here. Okay, so just keep that in mind. You do not want to expend those extra 2 points on that one. Basically, I didn't explain what this one, but this one for a few seconds after using her action skill, Amara arm remains active and grants her damage reduction. Really important. Once again, survivability. And mindfulness is the one you kind of want to target the most, because what this is going to do is whenever Amara takes damage, she gains a stack of mindfulness, right? So we already know what that does. When her mindfulness is activated, Amara improves shield regeneration delay and movement speed. Now, the reason why we want to do mindfulness is because we want to get that movement speed, because what we're going to be doing with our gear is the faster we're moving, the more damage we're going to be outputting. So once again, guys, dump 3 points here and 3 points here. Just keep that in mind. You want to have more mindfulness than you want to have Helping Hand. So just that's the main gist of the build. All right, so now that we talked about the build, let's go and dive in and take a look at our gear. So for our gear, guys, we're only using one weapon, and we are using the projectile recursion. Now, for those of you who have been playing Borderlands, this gun has been one of the worst guns, and I've seen so many forum posts, I've seen so many Reddit posts saying that this gun is hot garbage. Yeah, it's no bueno. But I am telling you guys right now, this is actually one of the best guns currently available right now, because we've gotten brand new things with the new MALIWAN takedown, and some of the weapons that are actually bad are actually pretty good. Now, if you're trying to figure out where do you pick up this weapon, you pick up this weapon from killing Captain Hunt. Now, it's very hard to actually get this drop. Now, I was fortunate enough to get this weapon shared by me by someone on Discord. They had the weapon, they sent me a picture, and it actually had the action skill that I wanted, and I'm really happy that it came with shock and corrosive. So that kudos to you. Thank you, Tankman, for sending this one over. So basically what this is going to do, it's going to allow us to shoot shock and corrosive. In addition to that, it comes with the anointment on action skill, and weapon damage is increased by 100%. We're going to pretty much be proccing this action skill and indefinitely. So this is going to be procced every single time we want to proc it. It's going to be procced. Now, I'm going to explain how you want to play with this particular build after we get done with the gear. So as you see, guys, the only thing we're worrying about right now is having this weapon. That's about it. Next up, guys, let's take a look at the shield. For the shield, we're using our transformer. And on this transformer, we have the brand new action skills that come part of the new Maliwan on action skill. And gain 50% bonus corrosive damage with weapon for 10 seconds. Now, I would like to have a shock damage here, but corrosive still works pretty well for me as we are dealing with a lot of armor enemies. So having that additional corrosive damage is pretty important. But the main reason we want to use this transformer is for the flavor text. Converts 100% of shock damage into shield, 40% chance to absorb bullets, adding them to your ammo count. So really, really important because we're doing two things right here. We want to make sure that the shock damage is being turned into shield. So that's going to allow us to actually never die. Be kind of going like in God mode. It's invincible. We won't be dying because we'll be applying shock to ourselves, keeping us alive. And in addition to that, it has a chance to absorb bullets, which adds them to your ammo count, which is really cool because one thing that we do happen to have in the Maliwan is we'll get shot and we will be getting those ammo back. So it kind of makes us almost never run out of ammo. So it's really, really effective. Now, to tie all of this together is the brand new class mod called the Spiritual Driver. Now, the Spiritual Driver is the brand new class mod that you're able to pick up from the new MALIWAN Takedown. If you guys need to know where to farm this or the most effective way to farm this, let me know in the comment section down below. I'll be happy to put a video together for you guys. So what this is going to do is says whenever Amara activates her action skill, she applies her action skill element to herself. Now, this is really important because this is going to allow us to kind of keep that shock going. In addition to that, Amara's gun damage is increased while moving. The quicker she moves, the greater the gun damage. Remember when I said earlier that we were trying to pick up mindfulness? This basically is what it's going to give us, that more damage every time that we're moving. So the more we're moving, the more gun damage we're doing because mindfulness is making us go faster. The faster we go, the more gun damage. It comes with plus 25 weapon damage, plus 31 action skill cooldown rate, and plus 31 shotgun damage. So technically speaking, our shotgun is going to be getting a boost of 50% on weapon damage and shotgun damage just off this class mod alone. So technically speaking, guys, our transformer and our class mod are working hand in hand. But in addition to that, to tie almost everything together, guys, we have, of course, our artifact. Now, the reason we want to pick up this artifact is we want the Kill a Badass to trigger Victory Rush, plus 18 movement speed and damage, 60-second duration. So that means it's going to give us more movement speed. Remember, the more moving, the more speed, the more damage we're going to outputting. This one comes with plus 30 grenade damage, plus 30 area of effect damage, plus 40 magazine. The only thing I would probably like to see here is maybe shotgun damage or Maliwan damage, you know, to increase it. But other than that, we're pretty good. But the main reason we're applying this one is because of the flavor text that says, while suffering an elemental effect, increase your damage with the same element. Now, we are going to be suffering from the shock element, of course, because we're going to be applying it to ourselves. That's going to increase the damage with the same element, which makes us pretty OP. And last but not least, guys, we're also running the recurring hex. And the reason we're running this one is because of the anointment on action skill and gain 50% corrosive damage with the weapon for 10 seconds. So even though we're shooting the shock, guys, we're still going to be getting 100% corrosive damage because these two stack up. So now that you guys understand the build and saw the gear and saw the skill tree, now let's talk about how you're actually going to play with this. Well, basically what you're going to be doing with this, guys, is you're going to be face grasping the ground. That's going to apply two things to you. It's going to apply your action skill, and it's also going to apply shock damage. So what that's going to do, it's going to make your shield be regenerating constantly every single time. In addition to that, since you're moving really fast, because remember our class mod, when we're applying that shock damage, it's making us go faster and do more gun damage. It's going to be making us go super duper fast, and it's also going to give us gun damage. Now, what makes this be a one-shot build is the fact that when there are multiple enemies around them, based on the skill tree we put together, and we have ties that bind, when pretty much when we shoot this weapon, because this is kind of like the sister or the brother of the brainstorm, and as you guys know, the brainstorm, when you shoot it, it kind of triggers all the other enemies around them. Basically, what this does is throws a flying disc and that this bounces off and it hits every single enemy that's around them. Now, every time it hits an enemy, it stacks up the damage it does. So if there's multiple enemies around you, it's actually going to be hitting multiple enemies, applying extra damage to the first initial shot that you shot, which makes this a one-shot build. As you guys see right here, when I shoot it to WOTAN and there's enemies around him, not only do I kill every single enemy around him, but I also end up damaging him quite a lot. Now, if there were more enemies, I could pretty much one-shot him, but if there are very little bit amount of enemies, then you're not going to be kind of doing that one-shot mechanic to the enemies, but you will be doing a ton of damage. So technically, that's the way you want to play this. Face across the ground, you could multi-face across the ground, stack up that bonus, replenish your shield, and output even ton more damage. Basically, that's how the build works. Let me know in the comment section down below if there's another weapon that you probably think would probably work a little bit better with this build. Let me know in the comment section down below. Also, guys, don't forget, if you want me to share this build with you guys, don't forget to get this video to 300 likes. Help me, and I'll help you guys out. And have wonderful holidays, because we're coming very close to them. Thank you guys for watching, and I will catch you guys on the next video.